Right now, while you're watching this, there are people with the same responsibilities, same challenges, and same 24 hours as you who are creating extraordinary results, while others feel constantly overwhelmed and behind. The difference isn't luck, special circumstances, or even talent. It's one simple discipline that transforms how they relate to time itself. What if I told you that feeling rushed, overwhelmed, and constantly behind schedule isn't a time problem at all, but a focus problem that can be solved with specific mental techniques? Most people have been conditioned to believe that being busy equals being productive, that working harder automatically leads to better results, and that successful people simply have more time or fewer obligations than everyone else. This couldn't be further from the truth. The reality is that your relationship with time determines the quality of your entire life experience. Your stress levels, your results, your relationships, and your sense of fulfillment all flow directly from how you manage your attention and energy throughout each day. Today, I'm going to share Napoleon Hill's revolutionary approach to time mastery, not just time management but time transformation. Techniques that allow you to enter what psychologists call flow state, where difficult tasks become effortless, hours feel like minutes, and your productivity multiplies exponentially. By the end of this training, you'll understand exactly how to engineer your days for peak performance and create the sense of spaciousness and control that defines truly successful living. Most people believe time is against them, constantly complaining about not having enough hours in the day. But Napoleon Hill discovered that successful individuals have exactly the same 24 hours as everyone else. The difference lies not in the amount of time available, but in the level of self-discipline they apply to managing their mental focus and energy throughout each day. When you develop proper time management skills, you realize that time doesn't control you. Your undisciplined thoughts, scattered attention, and reactive habits control you. This mental clarity revelation transforms everything because it shifts responsibility from external circumstances to internal mastery, giving you complete power over your results and daily experience. The greatest enemy of effective time management isn't your busy schedule, demanding boss, or overwhelming responsibilities. It's your own lack of focused action and purposeful living. Hill observed that unsuccessful people spend their days responding to whatever demands their attention loudest, jumping from one urgent task to another without any strategic plan or clear priorities. They live in what psychologists now call reactive mode, where external circumstances dictate their actions instead of internal purpose driving their decisions. Successful individuals, however, understand that mastering time requires mastering yourself first, developing the self-discipline to say no to distractions and yes to activities aligned with your definite major purpose. The moment you accept full responsibility for how you use your time, your entire relationship with daily routine changes dramatically. Instead of feeling like a victim of circumstances, you become the architect of your experience, designing each day with intention and executing with precision. This shift in perspective activates what Hill called definiteness of purpose. When you know exactly what you want to accomplish and why, every minute becomes valuable and every decision becomes strategic. Your mind stops wandering aimlessly and starts working with laser-like focus toward predetermined outcomes. But knowing how to prioritize your time is just the beginning. There's a specific state of mind that multiplies your effectiveness exponentially. Napoleon Hill discovered that the most productive people regularly entered what modern psychologists call flow state, a mental condition where time seems to slow down, distractions disappear, and your capabilities expand beyond normal limitations. During these periods of peak performance, successful individuals accomplish more in 2 focused hours than most people achieve in entire days. This isn't mystical thinking but practical psychology. When your mind achieves complete alignment between intention and action, your brain operates at optimal efficiency, processing information faster and making decisions with remarkable clarity. You'll observe that developing the ability to enter flow state on command was perhaps the most valuable time management skill anyone could master. The key to accessing flow state lies in creating what Hill called controlled attention, the self-discipline to focus completely on one important task while ignoring everything else, demanding your mental energy. Most people never experience true flow because their minds are constantly divided among dozens of competing thoughts, worries, and distractions throughout their daily routine. They check emails while working on projects, think about problems while having conversations, and worry about tomorrow while trying to focus on today. This scattered mental approach prevents the deep concentration necessary for flow state and keeps them trapped in mediocre performance levels where everything feels difficult and time flies by without meaningful progress. To cultivate flow state consistently, you must develop what successful people call single-pointed focus, the ability to immerse yourself completely in one activity with such intensity that external distractions lose their power over your attention. This requires specific, purposeful living practices, eliminating interruptions, choosing your most important task first, and maintaining unwavering mental clarity about your desired outcome before beginning. When you achieve this level of focused action, something remarkable happens. Difficult tasks become enjoyable, complex problems reveal simple solutions, and hours pass like minutes while you accomplish extraordinary results. Hill emphasized that this isn't a talent you're born with, but a skill you develop through consistent practice and mental training. But flow state alone isn't enough. You need a systematic approach to organizing your entire day for maximum effectiveness. Hill discovered that extraordinarily successful people didn't rely on motivation or inspiration to have productive days. They engineered their daily routine with the same precision that architects design buildings. Every successful person he studied had developed what he called systematic time allocation, a structured approach to organizing their days that automatically channeled their energy toward their most important objectives. This self-discipline in planning eliminated the mental fatigue that comes from constantly deciding what to do next, freeing their minds to focus entirely on execution rather than organization. When you create this type of systematic framework for your days, peak performance becomes predictable rather than accidental. The foundation of effective time management begins with what Hill termed the power hour, dedicating the first hour of each day to activities that align directly with your definite major purpose. During this period, when your mental clarity is at its peak and distractions are minimal, successful people tackle their most important and challenging work. They understand that willpower and focus are like muscles that get depleted throughout the day, so they invest their strongest mental energy in activities that produce the greatest long-term results. This purposeful living approach ensures that even if the rest of the day becomes chaotic, they've already accomplished something meaningful that moves them closer to their ultimate objectives. The most sophisticated practitioners take this concept further by creating what modern productivity experts call energy-based scheduling, matching different types of tasks to their natural energy rhythms throughout the day. They recognize that focused action requires different mental resources than routine tasks, so they schedule demanding creative work during their peak energy periods and save administrative tasks for times when their mental resources are naturally lower. This approach to daily routine maximizes their effectiveness while minimizing fatigue and burnout. They also build in specific periods for planning, reflection, and strategic thinking, understanding that working harder without working smarter leads to busy, ineffectiveness rather than meaningful progress. But even the best daily structure fails without one crucial element that separates true achievers from busy procrastinators. One of Hill's most important discoveries was that successful people take imperfect action consistently, rather than waiting for perfect conditions or complete information before moving forward. They understand that self-discipline means acting despite uncertainty, discomfort, or imperfect circumstances, while unsuccessful people remain trapped in endless planning cycles that never lead to meaningful results. This bias toward focused action creates momentum that actually improves their decision-making abilities over time, while excessive planning without execution develops what psychologists call analysis paralysis, the inability to move forward due to overthinking every possible scenario and outcome. The most productive individuals follow what Hill called the 80-20 rule of execution. When they have 80% of the information needed and a clear sense of direction, they take action immediately, rather than spending additional time gathering the remaining 20% of details. They recognize that taking imperfect action teaches them things that no amount of planning or research could reveal, and these real-world lessons often lead to better strategies than they could have developed through theoretical analysis alone. This approach to time management prioritizes learning through doing over learning, through thinking, creating rapid skill development, and practical wisdom that purely intellectual approaches cannot match. What separates peak performers from perpetual planners is their understanding that time management is actually decision management, the ability to make quick, confident choices about what deserves their attention and what doesn't. They develop what Hill called instant decisiveness, the mental clarity to evaluate opportunities rapidly and commit to courses of action without second-guessing themselves endlessly. This purposeful living approach eliminates the time-wasting habit of revisiting decisions repeatedly, freeing their mental energy for execution rather than deliberation. They also understand that making wrong decisions quickly and correcting course is almost always more effective than making perfect decisions slowly, because speed of implementation often matters more than perfection of strategy in achieving meaningful results. However, all these tactical improvements pale in comparison to one fundamental shift that transforms your entire relationship with time. Napoleon Hill's deepest insight about time management was that true mastery comes not from managing time itself, but from managing your presence and attention in each moment. He observed that successful people had developed the rare ability to be completely present in whatever they were doing, whether working on important projects, spending time with family, or even resting and recovering. This mental clarity and focused attention allowed them to extract maximum value from each experience, making their lives feel both more productive and more fulfilling simultaneously. Most people, however, spend their present moments mentally living in the past or future, which robs them of the power and energy available only in the here and now. The practice of present moment awareness revolutionizes your daily routine because it eliminates the mental friction that comes from divided attention and scattered focus. When you're fully engaged in your current task, you work with greater efficiency, make fewer mistakes, and experience what Hill called effortless effectiveness. The sensation that challenging work flows naturally rather than requiring exhausting effort. This self-discipline of attention also improves your relationship's decision-making abilities and overall life satisfaction, because you're actually experiencing your life instead of just passing through it unconsciously. Peak performance becomes sustainable rather than sporadic, because you're not constantly fighting internal resistance and mental distractions. The ultimate expression of time mastery is what Hill termed purposeful presence, the ability to align your immediate actions with your long-term vision while remaining completely focused on present moment execution. This integration of big picture purpose with moment-to-moment awareness creates extraordinary results because every action becomes both meaningful and effective. You stop wasting time on activities that don't serve your ultimate goals, yet you also stop sacrificing present happiness for future achievements. This balanced approach to purposeful living allows you to enjoy the journey while making consistent progress toward your destination. People who master this skill report that time seems to expand rather than contract. They accomplish more while feeling less rushed, and they experience greater satisfaction from their achievements because they were fully present during the process of creating them. But perhaps most importantly, this present moment mastery creates a foundation for building the type of legacy that extends far beyond your own lifetime. You now possess the same time mastery principles that have allowed countless successful individuals to accomplish extraordinary results while maintaining inner peace and life satisfaction. But here's the truth that separates those who transform their lives from those who just consume information. Implementation is everything. Knowledge without consistent action is just sophisticated procrastination disguised as learning. The gap between knowing these techniques and experiencing their life-changing effects lies entirely in your commitment to practice them daily, starting immediately. This channel exists to provide you with the advanced strategies for mastering not just time, but your entire life experience through the wisdom of history's greatest achievers. The question isn't whether these principles work. They've been proven by thousands of successful people across every field and industry. The only question is whether you'll develop the self-discipline to apply them consistently, or whether you'll continue living in reactive mode, letting external circumstances control your internal experience and daily results. If you're ready to stop feeling overwhelmed and start experiencing the flow state that makes life feel effortless and enjoyable, subscribe now and activate notifications so you never miss the advanced techniques I share weekly. Your future self is watching the decisions you make right now. Will you choose to master time, or will you let time continue mastering you?